I'm going to kind of guide it, but we're going to have a bunch of people talking. How's that sound to y'all today? Exciting. I'm excited. I still am delirious from my workout earlier. Just saying. I seen Chas got her sweat session in. It's like therapy to me. It's so good.
Me too. I did camp glider this morning. And I'm pretty sure she tried to kill me, but I made it through it. I survived, and I survived.
I survived too. Erin was hard today. I have not sweat that much in years.
I'm even inside in the air conditioner and I'm still sweating. Okay, I'm recording, so I don't know that everyone wants to hear this.
Cool. All right, we're recording. Hello. All right, so today I am taking today's topic. Beth Graves was supposed to be today, but we are going to extend this till Thursday. So she's going to come on. Not only are we going to get someone tomorrow, but then you also have Thursday with Beth Graves. So I'm really, really excited for that extension. You guys don't want to miss her stuff. But today I wanted to, kind of just chat what's on my heart. And I think this topic is going to really get you guys thinking and into action. So I want to start with, have you ever thought to yourself, maybe you ask the question, maybe you still do every time you go into a new goal, is how fast will I get results? Have you ever asked that question? How fast will I get results? I think we all do, right? You're sitting in your mind, whether you say it out loud, ask somebody specifically, or we just think it, we say, how fast will I get results? So it's always funny to me that somebody starts a business and they want results like today. And it's like, okay, that's cool. And then somebody joins the gym and decides, oh, the gym's not for me because in one workout, I didn't have any changes. Okay, right? So like, you sit there and think, when people ask me as a trainer, nutritionist, as a business consultant, in Lavelle, all the things, people ask, how fast will I get results? And I heard this on a podcast over a few weeks ago, and it's really stuck with me, is your results are going to happen as fast as you pull your foot off the brake. So today I want to kind of roll with this a little bit. I want to help we all, like there's going to be a few of us leaders popping on. We're all going to contribute to this, but I want to guide some of you through what foot you have on the brake. What brake do you have pushed so hard that if we get that released, the results are going to be massive for you. So I want you to think right now and drop into the comments, what brake do you have on right now? If you took that foot off that brake, would it lead you to the results you want? Is it possibly, my brake is nutrition. I'm not at the results I want for my health because I'm not great at my nutrition. That's a brake, you guys. You got that foot on that brake of getting over that mind block of nutrition. Is it fear of rejection? Awesome. Thinking too much. You're an overthinker. Lisa, no. You're an action taker. Comparison. Absolutely. Talking to people in public. These are great. Keep dropping over there. What breaks do you have? Because these are going to help all of us, right? Because not only do we have some of these breaks ourselves, but we are coaching and leading teams that these breaks are going to come up. So when you think about it, here's the goal they want. They want 4K. Or let's just break it down even smaller. They want to thrive for free. That's their goal. They want to thrive for free. But what brake do they have to the floor on their car? What is that brake? It's talking to people, right? Starting a conversation. It's, I don't know what to say, or I don't know how to respond. Those are some breaks that are going to come when people say that. I don't know what people are going to think of me. Those are all breaks. They have their foot so hard on that pedal that that's what's stopping them from getting results, right? A full-time job that takes up a lot of time. Yes, that's a thing. Insecure. How to talk to them about disrespecting them, about diet. Okay, yeah, that's it. I had to read that in my head again. Sorry, I was like, disrespecting them. No, pretty much saying, Not saying that they're fat, but that they need health, right? That's what you mean. So I get it. Okay, so let's talk about this, and let's work through some of these, because I feel if we have some awareness around these breaks and we have an action we can take, one action that we can take to pull that foot off that brake and get the results, at the end of the day, the proof is going to be there that you can do it. And then when the proof is large enough and you track your proof, you write down your successes, your wins for the day, you get more confidence, right? So it's like a ripple effect that happens. Not only do you get the results, but then your confidence grows and you continue to have massive results. So, all right, so let's get started, because I want to start with just like thriving for free. We have that very first person, whether they're a customer or they join you in this business. The first goal is to thrive for free, and the VIP 800. Those go hand in hand. But our first thing that we're going to focus on is 2 customers on AutoShip and 2 people that join you on this business, right? So the first thing that has to happen is how to start a conversation, how to share about it. And so I'd love to know if you guys still have, like, if you have that foot on the brake, it's halfway up, you're still you're pumping that brake a little bit. Where are you on that break point? Are you fully off? You're like, I know how to start conversations. Or are you still kind of pumping that brake? Or is that like a hard stop? Like you are down to the floor. Where are you on that? And let's go through that. So for me, pulling that foot off the brake is literally, you've probably heard it. And we're going to have some of the other leaders pop in on this one too. But you've probably heard this before, Mel Robbins, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I still, to this day, massive success, over 500 business partners that's joined me in the 6 years, over personally enrolled, over 2,000 free customer accounts, right? I have talked to a lot of people. But at the end of the day, there's still times when I'm about to have a conversation with somebody, I have to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I got to just do it. I just have to do it, because I know if I pull that foot off the brake, that conversation can lead into their life being changed. It's no longer about me and my fears or my holdup or the brake I have on. I have to transition that into what will this do for them? It's all about them at the end of the day. And that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 literally catapults me into the conversation. And once I start the conversation, I'm like, oh shit, I'm here. Okay, let's go. Let's talk, right? So you just got to take that leap. Okay, so I would love for anyone else to pop on in. What is some of the one action step or the thing that gets you into action to pull that foot off the brake when it comes to starting conversations?
Hey, I'll jump in here now because I think Chastity and Amber are going to jump in too. So I'll unmute them in just a second. But something to always just kind of know and practice, or what are the 3 biggest things that Thrive has done for you? Okay, we need to know those, because a lot of times we'll be like, oh yeah, and I lost weight. Oh yeah, and I quit drinking Dr. Peppers. Oh yeah, and I slept great. And oh, I wake up early. And you have 47 things, which is true. You probably do. But what are your top 3 things that most likely would identify with most people? I lost 2 pounds in the first week. I hadn't seen my weight change in forever. I was drinking 3 to 4 Dr. Peppers a week, and then I didn't need any. And I had, unfortunately, headaches quite a bit. And in the first 6 days, I didn't have one. I'm not saying that they're cured. Do you know those top 3 to 4 things? So that, for instance, if somebody says, well, what did it do for you? Well, before Thrive, I drank this many Dr. Peppers. I didn't sleep well. I was gaining weight. I started taking these 3 steps. I no longer need Dr. Peppers. I lost 2 pounds in the first week, and whatever. They match 3 and 3, right? If you can go, before Thrive, I was this. I started taking those 3 steps, and after Thrive, I was this, without going down a rabbit hole when you're talking about it. It's like I would drink 3 or 4 Dr. Peppers a week. Like a day. I would drive to Sonic, and I would go buy all these Dr. Peppers, and then I would just add cherries, and then I would have vanilla, and then I would get to talking to the lady, and then I would have to have another one. But since I started taking Thrive, I don't need that anymore. No. Don't go down the rabbit hole. I did this all the time. This is where I was. I started taking the 3 steps, and bam, here's where I am. Because you have to be able to have what Paul Gravett calls your elevator pitch in less than 60 seconds, preferably 30, right? Now, my other favorite thing to do, and then I'm going to unmute one of those girls, is I totally learned this from Tiffany Deeroff. When my patch is showing and somebody says, what is that? I go, oh, you haven't heard of this? Oh my gosh, this is my happy patch. My mama got her groove back patch. What's your email? I will send you some information on it. And that's the end of that conversation. Like, I mean, it'll go further, but I'm like, what? I don't go, what do I say? My other favorite thing is when people ask me what I do for a living, I just say I peddle vitamins. And then they're like, what? I'm like, oh, I peddle vitamins. That's what I do. Then they're going to ask me more questions because they want to know what that is. But really, what do you do? I'm a top leader in a multi-level marketing company. That would kind of freak people out, right? So I get their attention by saying I peddle vitamins. And they're like, what? I'm like, I'm just kidding. Like a few years ago, I started this product called Thrive, and I sell that out of my home, and I'm a stay-at-home mompreneur. Like, it's funny. And then they're like, well, what is it? They'll ask more questions. But the moment I said multi-level marketing, they'd be like, out, you know. So get your story down to your top 3 to 4 reasons without the rabbit hole, the highlights of those, like you were doing bullet points. You started taking the 3 steps, and then what are the 3 to 4 bullet points that match those all together? Practice it in front of the mirror. You will absolutely love it. Hold on. I'm going to unmute Chastity. Where'd she go? Chastity. This is not easy when I don't let y'all unmute yourselves. But
okay, Susan, can you hear me?
I can. Take off.
Okay, so not only did I put the brake, like as in the brake pedal, Natasha, it was like the emergency brake. And we know when we put that emergency brake on, like you ain't going nowhere. One of the things that I struggled with was prospecting up. And I see this with a lot of people coming in brand new. When I say prospecting up, I think everybody needs our product. Everybody needs our opportunity. It's for everybody. But when I find somebody that maybe they are like a Natasha in the health and wellness space already, they're into nutrition. I had a tendency to put the brake on and shrink back and feel like, well, I don't know enough about nutrition. I don't know enough about the body. Or maybe I see a lady that looks really put together, and she's got her Louis Vuitton over her, shoulder. Looks like she's dressed to the nines, and you know what? She's struggling and she's drowning in debt. But I would prejudge thinking, she's got a Louis and she's looking fly. She does not need what I have. So, yes, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think I was doing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 before I knew it was like really a thing. And, I just said, I have to do it. I never know when she woke up this morning and said, I'm praying for this opportunity. Another area is I would get intimidated by talking to a male about the product. Well, is he going to think I'm hitting on him? Is his wife somewhere? Things like that. I had to check my motives and my intention, and my intent was to help them start their mornings a little bit different, give them a little bit of wiggle room in their budget. So when my heart was right, my agenda was right, everything else was great. And I started prospecting up people that if my knees shook a little bit, if my voice was shaking, a little bit, that's the person that I wanted to talk to. Now, that doesn't mean, that everybody doesn't need this, but I was more comfortable with people that I was okay if they told me no. There were people in my family, there were people in my close circles that I was like, I know they're going to tell me no, but I love them. We're going to keep doing life. We got the same blood. I'm not, cutting this relationship off. It's still going to be a thing. But the people that made me a little nervous and uncomfortable, I was not just hitting the brake and pumping that. I was pulling the emergency brake. And it was a detriment to myself. So, I had to learn prospect up and find those people that, because I'm worth it. I'm worth it. You're worth it. You're worth having an organization of people that are ready for change.
Hold on. Unmuted you, Natasha. Well,
we had
people unmuting themselves, and I was like, no, we can't have that happen. But then today I wasn't thinking that several of us needed to. Hold on, let me find Amber.
No, you're good. You're good. I muted myself, and I'm like, oh, I just muted myself for good. Oh.
Hey, Amber, are you on here?
I am.
Talk to
So
us.
I'm kind of a mess right now. I was kind of secretly thinking, I said I could, talk, but don't call on me because I just checked my commissions and I'm like about to cry. And I'm just reminded that in that moment, it's like, okay, sorry. But I just think about, I can't let things hold me back because I do get in my own head a lot. And I'm an insecure person. I know everybody thinks I ooze confidence, but like, I think that everybody talks about me. I think that everybody that looks at me thinks that I'm a horrible person. Like, I have a lot of mind battles. Okay. So I've learned and am still learning how to cope with them, how to shut that voice up. But it's moments like this when I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't stop what I'm doing because there's so many of you that deserve to have a grateful, blessed Tuesday, right? You deserve to have a Tuesday that covers your mortgage, that pays for college. You deserve to have a Tuesday. When it started for me, I could buy brand name granola bars. Like, that's when I went to the grocery store in the beginning, and I didn't have to get the plain granola bars. I could get the kind that my kids really liked instead of saying, no, they're the same. They taste the same. Just eat them. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. But and I remember that day being like, I could get Quaker. Like, so what is that for y'all that keeps you going? Because I just want everybody to know I've got something amazing. One, it's going to make you feel amazing. So what do I have to say? Like, a lot of it's in your passion. And y'all heard me talk about that the other day. I don't shut up about Thrive. I wear my DFT where it can be seen. I'm constantly talking about, like Susan said, like, what? You haven't heard of Thrive? Like, it's just that straight up conversation. And when somebody's like, no, that's not for me, I immediately know exactly what to say next. I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally understand. I felt the same way. I told my friend no for 3 months. But what I found out was I needed this in my life. And, that quick thing, like Susan said, like, what did it do for me? Like, I'm a happier, healthier person now. I don't get mad at my kids as often, things like that, like my personal thing. So you have to know what that is right off the bat. And you also have to know, like what Chassie said, learning, is it prospecting up, or is it I'm getting a mental picture of somebody? No, they have money, they don't need this. No, that girl's super healthy, they don't need this. Stop doing that to yourself. I do all those things. So that's my 2 cents. I'm gonna go cry now.
Will you go cry? I'll see. Well, here's the funny thing about that. You say it's, commissions, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forget about that because Payoneer or Lavelle doesn't send me an email till Friday. So I always forget, and I think, oh, it's Friday, I got an email. It's so crazy how it's so different. But okay, let's talk on the next one, like that fear of rejection, because I believe that that's also a very, very big one. It ties into what we've already said. But that fear of rejection, how many of you guys have had that, or maybe still struggle with that, right? It's that fear of rejection, them saying no. And here's the thing that helps me, and then everybody else can chime in. I know this might sound silly, but I want you to ask yourself, well, I haven't walked through a mall in a long time, thanks to COVID and everything else, but when I walk through a mall, how many times do these people in the center kiosks say, or they try to get my eye contact, and I'm like avoiding eye contact, or I just simply say no thank you? Do they go and hide in the corner and stop trying to sell their product they have, or do they just look for the next person? They're like trained to just go to the next person. Like, I swear to you, we all should make our kids, like, I wish my parents would have had me do this, to have that strength to go, oh, not now. Okay. Who's next? That was something I had to learn and create a habit inside of me, is of, they're not ready yet. Who's next? Like, who am I going to talk to next? Who's waiting for me to ask them next? And so I think about that every time I have a fear of rejection, is what would the man in the kiosk trying to sell me lotion do. I mean, that's what I think. That's really what I think. And then I think, okay, he's just going to go to the next person that walks by him. So I'm going to go to the next person that engages on my stories, the next person that comments on my stuff, the next person I think of that's on my list, the next person. I'm just going to keep going through that list and know that that person's not a no forever. They're just a no right now and move on. So that's what helps me to get over that objection and that break that we all have. So
Yeah,
fear of rejection.
Yeah, I think all the time that I literally just had to get over that. They couldn't take my children from me and they couldn't take my home. So if they rejected me, and I had to learn how to take that with grace and not have my feelings hurt, it's not easy. It's not easy. But what I have definitely discovered over the last couple of years, when I was like, you know what, that is okay. But when you are ready, I hope that you'll think of me, how many of them have came back around. And now they're like, okay, Susan, tell me a little bit more about this, because I did have that grace with them, I guess you could say. But it's also, you know, following up with your auto ships. You're so fearful that they're going to reject you and tell you it's not working. I haven't lost any weight. No, I can't do it anymore. And you're so afraid to lose an auto ship that you almost don't even want to talk to them, like you avoid them. That is definitely the wrong thing to do. And I will say this, that it has happened. Susan, it's just not working for me. And I was like, that is so strange, because I've been checking with you all month and it's been great. But that's always their excuse. Or, no, I just don't think we can do it this month. That is totally fine. I will move you to next month. And don't worry, I'll check back in with you. They hadn't completely shut me off. But I have really tried to learn how to not take that rejection personally when they're talking about my product. Let me tell you guys something. I have 7 kids total between marriage and all. And my 2 youngest ones, which are physically mine, have been told if they don't thrive, they get no financial rewards. So you don't get to go to a beach trip. If you're not thriving, why should you get to reap the rewards of the business, right? So they're pro, okay, we're thriving. It's great. It's fine. Some of the older ones, because they're in such a different financial place, they almost somewhat kind of mock me for it. Now I want you to think about it, and it's just, they love me and they're very, very vocal about how much they love me, but they do not think that thrive is a thing, even though they walk into my house all the time. And anyway, that rejection from family members is probably one of the hardest things to handle. So you also have to, again, learn to give people grace, and that they just don't always have the same view as you. Chastity said something in here, and I want her to talk about it. It's the feel, felt, found. I use this all the time. It's when people actually have the rejection before they ever even get started. So it is amazing to use this all the time. Hold on, Chastity. Why can I not find you? There you are. Hold on. I want you to talk about that.
Oh gosh. I think Maria actually coined that, and she said it years and years ago, just like Amber just beautifully put that into what she was saying. And that goes along with what Susan was saying, learning your elevator pitch, learning to incorporate feel, felt, found. You know, when someone kind of shut her down verbally, she said, I know how you feel. So that takes that immediate defense mechanism out of the picture. And you know how I feel. What do you mean? I just told you, like, I don't need your product. It changes. It's a psychological shift, because you're saying, I know how you feel. Like, yeah, I agree. I didn't think it was for me either. I felt the same way. But what I found is I was struggling. I was absolutely exhausted. And, you know, then you kind of get them back into relatability. And again, it is a psychological thing. One thing that I was going to say is that I learned so much, and this isn't a plug for Girl Scouts. None of my girls did Girl Scouts, but I see the Girl Scouts, and, you know, you'll see them outside of a Walmart or somewhere, and they're, you know, selling you their cookies. And I always donate. I say, keep your cookies, because I have no self-control. And so, you know, I watch them. And I'll watch one little girl, she'll just get up there and no, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you. And people walk by, people ignore her. I have to pray and get right with the Lord, because I'm like, I'm going to punch. If someone else ignores that little girl, I'm going to punch you out, you know, at least say no, thank you. But I watch them, and then you watch maybe a sister or another girl in her, you know, her troop, and someone tells her no. And literally I've been at places, and I am just work mindset like this, is I love to watch people. And I watched one of the little girls like sit down in the chair in the back because somebody told her no. So I challenge you to find deep inside, you know, this isn't about Chas and all the therapy she needs, but, you know, as a little girl, I felt a lot of rejection. I needed to please. I wanted that approval from my family, from the people in my life. So all my life, I've been a people pleaser and wanting that. And so in this business, it was hard for me because I was in corporate IT. Everybody wanted me. Everybody needed me. Everybody wanted to call me and talk to me because I could fix their computers. I could make their stuff work. But in this business, when someone told me no, guys, it was like, they don't like Amber said. They don't like me. They don't want to have anything to do with me. And it was absolutely, I say, you know, I needed therapy. I really did, and still do. But it was more of getting on YouTube, finding people that I could go watch things that were like how to overcome fear, how to overcome rejection, literally putting in YouTube, how to overcome rejection in network marketing, how to overcome rejection in sales. Oh, and then I don't know if Lisa's on, but Susan, I don't know if you could see her, find her, but she explains it so beautifully with the coffee and the tea analogy. Is she on here? I don't know. I know it would probably be crazy for you to try to find her, but I will mess it up. But she said this for years. She said, you know, when you go somewhere and, you know, after your dinner, they offer you some coffee. You say, you know, no, no, thank you. I don't, you know, no, you don't want coffee. They don't ask you why you don't want the coffee. She doesn't, you know, take off her apron and quit waiting tables. I mean, she keeps going because the coffee's not about her. So don't make this business about you. Make it about them. What do they need? What do they want? And every time it'll work it may not be today. It may be 6 years, you know, down the road, but that consistency and something is going to change. And one more thing, I don't mean to dominate, but I had a lot of this on my mind. The other thing that really held me back, and I don't know, leaders, y'all might not have had this situation, but during Rona, you know, I didn't know how to post. Like, I was like, you know, if I post something, are people going to be like, oh, brag, you know, there she goes bragging again. If I post about my working out and staying, you know, keeping my mind strong, are they going to be like, do you not see people going through life and having a hard time? I struggled with knowing where to post. And so I had to be very intentional about the people that I was talking to and the people I was having conversations. And last night I had a girl, we became friends because of our workout, because of my workout group. And yes, last night she said, I need to know about your business. I'm just struggling. And she wasn't even really on my radar. But it was those little things that I was dropping in that resonated with her over and over and over. I didn't shrink back, but I had to find what was comfortable and what was authentic to me. So it's okay to let off the gas just a little bit, to evaluate the circumstance, the situation, what's happening in the world, but don't push the brake. And that almost happened for me because, you know, I was looking around. Guys, I live a debt-free life. Like, I'm not worried about things that people were worried about. And for a week, I shared with my team, I had some success guilt that I had to get right between the head and the heart. I've worked my butt off. I've been told no. I've had people laugh at me and go, you sell patches for a living? You know, so I had to work through that. And you will too. And Susan is spot on. Your closest people to you, it's going to hurt the most. But when you can push through that, it's going to make your strongest impact in your business and your personal life.
Good job, Chas.
Awesome. Let's finish up with one more, because I think this one, Chas mentioned it, is like perfect to kind of, because it's what do we post on social media? with the times that people are in, you know, and here's one thing. This is what I said, during quarantine and not knowing what to post and how to not offend. Okay. So that's like the general umbrella term and break that we all have. I think we all have that, right? Like, raise of hands if you've like looked at social media, you're like, I want to say this, but nah, right? Or I don't even know what to say because this friend's gonna hate me, but this friend's gonna love me. You know, and then it's like, okay, positive pants all the time. Let's keep our positive pants on because like everybody needs more positivity. And I did a training this morning on embracing optimism. And I think that's really what I've done during this whole time is I've embraced the optimism inside of me that's true to my soul, my heartbeat, my pulse. I am extremely optimistic. I find that my cup is half full, not half empty. When people throw me lemons, I make lemonade, right? That's just how I've always been. That's how I tick. But not everybody's like that. And so I also know that. And so I have to have, you know, I got to find the balance to not to get in everybody's space in a sense, but I want to be able to relate to people and then know the true me. So the way I look at that is every time I go to post something, I say to myself, you do you. You do you. Don't worry what this person or that person or this person. And it's been a lot of self-development, you guys. That didn't come easy. That came from 10, 20 years of personal development that has gotten me to a point where I'm just like, you do you. And those that want to be part of who you are, whether they agree to disagree, then that's who it is. And so, you know, financial freedoms and stuff like this. So I'm going to hit this one and I'm going to open it up to y'all. But, you know, at first I was like, gosh, these people are losing their jobs. They're laid off. They don't have any money, right? That was going through my head. Like, how can I ask? All right, now I'm unmuted. Okay, how can I ask this person to become a customer and spend $150 when they don't even know if they have a job tomorrow? They don't even know if they're going to get unemployment. They don't know all those things. Well, I let that happen to me. I had the break on for about a week. And then I realized I was watching my friends buy stuff that I'm like, how are you buying that? What? Wait, whoa. I was telling myself they didn't have the funds, that they were in saving mode because they weren't sure of their future. That's what I told myself. They never told me that. So when you think about that too on social media, the financial blessings and things like that, we don't know what's going on in their life. They have financial blessings that they're not posting about, right? They have financial things that their struggles that they're not posting about. We have no clue what's happening behind closed doors, but we give ourselves the we spread that, we paint that picture in our own head about them versus allowing them to say yes or no to us. So when it comes to social media, not knowing what to post, not to offend people, my thing is I go, you do you. And then, you know, people will sort themselves or they will truly respect you because you showed up as you, whether they agree or disagree, but you can be friends because of that, right? If we all wore the same, our favorite color was the same color, our favorite car was the same car, our favorite house was the same house, this would be a pretty damn boring world to live in. So we all have to respect that and know that those that respect you for that are who's supposed to stay in your world.
So I'm going to tag onto that because something that really hit me the other day, because I've had a couple people really close to me that I don't know what happened, whatever, but they blocked me and whatnot. And I've always said, you know, like that just goes to show where the friendship wasn't that I thought it was, or, you know, whatever. And I started thinking about, there are a lot of people that have politely told me no thank you, but they're still my friends on Facebook. Like, they're still following me and they're still my friends. And, you know, a couple of them have had to just say, like, listen, girl, I'm so happy for you, I'm proud of you, but that thing's just not going to be for me. And I'm just waiting patiently, right? But they didn't block me. So I kind of was thinking the other day, I was like, those people deserve a kudos. Like they're not letting their emotions or whatever run what they do, right? Or run like based on a friendship. Like if somebody's mad at me because we're successful, that's on them. That's, if somebody's mad at me because I feel good with my vitamins, that's on them. And that's a hard place to get to, like Natasha said. But yeah, if we all have our you do you mentality, which by the way, that's my thing, that's my license plate, that's my shirt, that's my everything. Because I have to be reminded, that, okay, you don't want to go with me to Chinese food today, that's fine, you do you. Like, you just, however you have to put that into your head. And, but I wanted to jump on too and say that with what Chastity was saying earlier, you never know who your next person is going to be. I actually we've got a couple, they're friends, husband, wife, couple friends. He is thriving with Jason. Like he's ordered under him. He likes it. He likes how he feels. His wife is like, no, I'm not thriving. Like she's like, nope. And it's kind of a weird nope. So I really haven't pushed it too far, right? We're still friends. But the other day we were out with them and I had an Ultra on and this is not advertising properly, but I also had a white label on my ankle. And she was like, why are you wearing two today? And she was like, is that like double the pleasure, double the fun? Like she was kind of, just being funny about it because we talk about it. She's just not thriving yet. And I was like, no, Ultra is great for energy, plus helps with appetite control. And then the white label is for mood support. And she was like, oh, I'm going to need like 12 of those. And so now something hit, something that she deals with and struggles with. She's got girls. She runs the house. They homeschool, so it kind of made me think like that was the farthest the conversation went that day. But that was that moment like, oh, she needs that. And so you've got to remember that not everybody clicks with your first three things, right? Not everybody clicks with your story, which is why it's so important to share the fan page stories, why it's so important to get people on Lavelle Live calls, right? And then, and don't forget tonight we have the corporate call with the words huge announcement, which that just like zooms me in. I'm like, what huge announcement? So don't forget about that tonight. But I just wanted to leave that on there. Susan, back to you.
No, back to Natasha.
Hey, I did hard. Oh, am I muted?
No,
No,
you're
I'm
good.
Okay.
Natasha, I wanted to add something real quick. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
So one thing that helped me was, I love that what you said, Tosh, about you do you, but remember who you were before you were thriving. People they don't understand being able to go through these crazy times and still be able to feel motivated to work out. If we would have gone into quarantine 6 years ago, I'd have been in a very bad place. So I tried to remember where I was before I became a thriver. The whole like debt-free, financial freedom, all of that. People can't relate to that, but they can relate to being able to fill the pantry full of groceries and not be stressed out. They can relate to cutting up one credit card and paying it off. They can relate to an extra $400 cash this week. So make sure you remember where you came from, and make sure that they know too that they look at you. They just now became a part of your network. They think, oh, well, Natasha, she's always been successful. That can't happen for me. But if she shows her transformation, they're going to be like, oh, she struggled in this area. Oh, she's not always, had a lake house and a home and a Cadillac and all of that. So make sure you're being relatable to where you were. We have to always remember where you came from. Oprah Winfrey said one time, she said, every time I would buy a new piece of property, a new house, new something, I would close my eyes and visualize the very, very first time I was in 1,100 square foot home and what it felt like to be in a brick house, like the feeling that it was, and it would ground me and it would center me. So today when it's payday, whether that fills your tank of gas or that pays off college, because it legit can do that, remember what it felt like when you did hit that first VIP 800, when you did hit that first VIP 1600, when you got that auto bonus. Remember those feelings and attach that emotion to your posts as you're sharing.
Absolutely. And that is the thing, is reflecting back. And that's where I want to end this is, the easiest way to take your foot off the brake is to take action, right? Is to take action and to celebrate your wins, every single one of them. And a win isn't always a new customer or a new business partner. It isn't always hitting a rank. I mean, that's like the fireworks, like grand finale. Like that's like when you get a new customer, you can like do the dance like outside and like in the rain. But I want you to think about all the wins that has to happen to that person who says yes to being a customer. The first win is you taking action in conversation. The first win is them responding or engaging on one of your stories that you posted. They responded in a poll. Oh, that was a win. Like, are you celebrating those moments? Are you reminding yourself of the proof that you got this, that you are winning? Because every time we remind ourselves of the wins, we build that confidence up, and that confidence starts to grow to a point where you're like, I got this. If they tell me no, it's just no, not right now. Or I didn't say the right thing. They aren't looking for weight loss. They're actually looking for patience, right? And so when you think of it that way, the only way we get to that space is because we know how many wins it's been, how many wins we've had, not saying all the customers and all the business partners. So I want you to think about these simple actions that you can put into place immediately. And that goes down to very, very simple things that you've learned from all of us already. For years, if you've been with us for years, or maybe the last week, I know you've heard these things by being plugged in and watching some of the videos in some of the trainings in the back office, in your team pages, or on here. These are the things that I do. I have this one here. It's inspiration into action. So this is one side of my planner that I do. I do my affirmations. I am. Why do I do that? It's to build my own self-confidence, my own belief, my own know and worth and truth, my affirmations. I then have something where I edify, celebrate, and connect, right? So I want to edify people. You build yourself up when you edify others, when you celebrate others, right? So when you give, you get more in return. That just happens. Then on the other side, I have here, like, today I'm grateful for. You all know, like, gratitude journaling is so key to your mindset, to your future. And then I have here my non-negotiables, my goals. I know what I got to get done today. Like, I write down 5 goals that needs to happen today. Now, sometimes there's 20, sometimes there's 5. So every day is a little different, but I know what GPS is for today. What is my GPS today? I have my social media checklist, make it easy. And then down here is this simple thing that says today's wins. I must remind myself what wins I had today. And sometimes that's I got through the freaking day. Sometimes I didn't kill my kids. Sometimes it's I actually relaxed for the whole day. I didn't answer. I took a day off social media, right? Some days it's I talked to 5 people on my list I've been avoiding for a year. Every single day my wins are different. But that's proof that I can do it, that I have it in me, right? Sometimes it's I got a shower. Absolutely. I haven't done that yet today. I was thinking I'd get in the pool, but that might not clean me either. But then on this other side, so a lot of us do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I just have it here so it's easy. But down at the bottom I have here is my reflection notes. anytime we're in a position of growth, which I hope every day you are, you celebrate your wins, but you also acknowledge your failures. Without failure, you're not getting closer to success. If you don't fail every day, if you don't have a, oh crap, I said the wrong thing, or that wasn't good, or yeah, totally missed that, you're not growing. You can have failures, but until you recognize them and you reflect on them, you're not going to do better tomorrow. And that's how you continue to pull that foot off the brake, is reflect and ask yourself this one phrase: what might I do different? We have our wins, we have our failures. Now it's what might I do different? And guess what? That what might I do different sets you up for success tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to end with. If Susan, you want to have anything you want to say, and then let's close her out.
No, I think that's a great thing to close on, guys. That recording will be up shortly. Just as soon as we all hop off of here, I'll start downloading it. I'm going to try to go back in Team Thrive Nation and put them all in one place, because that's what I did on my team page. And I know Natasha is keeping them in the actual event, but when the event's over, then they're gone. So if you haven't saved them, go save them to your notes, each link, because they're all on YouTube. And it just makes it easier for you to go back and reflect on them, because I mean, I've probably listened to Lisa Fuller's twice already.
I'll post this. I just created these. So Susan, I'll post these too. So, and I'll give you the PDF so you can easily put them in there. I just created those yesterday when I had extra time, you know.
Okay. Extra time. What's that?
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you all.
Bye, everybody.